Hey everyone, Engineer Coffee, welcome back to Mars. Last episode we built this robot welding factory to build our Skeeter drone turrets. We still got some work to do here on the prototype drone. I've got the body here welded up so we can make some modifications to it. We need to get the thrusters turned off for one. I want to get that turret as well so it's not spinning around automatically, at least while it's in here in the plant. And then we need to put a thruster on the bottom somewhere, an upward thruster for probably a hydrogen engine, just to give the AI some trickery so it actually follows us around a little bit better. I did some work off camera. I put in a couple doors here, hatches to get down below, moved the screen down here as well so everything is kind of contained in this space here. I added a fourth timer here to the leg extension, basically just split number 3 in half, that it retracts the welding arms before it extends the legs into the body, and that really just gives time for these welding arms to get out of the way because they were kind of clipping here on the edge of this block there. So got that guy cleaned up there. Next thing up here in this observation control room area, somebody who, actually a couple people had suggested putting these bridge windows upside down so we could see better down into the plant. So great idea there. It looks really good. I mean, I guess I could have just gone with 45-degree windows, but that looks really cool, and it kind of blocks the light that's underneath there from shining in our face. So I really like that idea. So we're gonna go with that through the rest of the plant. All right, off camera, I also removed this temporary piping here that was going to our main component storage, and it's now welded up through the sorting system up above. So these are actually drawing from the smart system to know what to weld up for the Skeeter drone, so that's good. It means we'll have to draw out of a different container to get the base welded up, but we'll probably be using the welding ship anyway. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'd like to thank channel members Lord Beacon, The Cross, and ElectroPro83 for supporting the channel, and if you'd like to, there should be a join button below. Otherwise, thank you for your views and subscriptions and comments. I appreciate it all, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I do want to get working on the drone here to make it completely functional and get it out of the prototype mode, but before we do that, let's go ahead and finish up this bay. We need to get a connector. I'm thinking about putting it right here in the center and maybe extending this small grid platform out. Then we can have an arm come from the ceiling here, grab this guy from the front, and then drop him on the floor onto that connector. And so then we can use that connector to turn on all the thrusters, provide it with ammunition for the turret, and do various other functions to it. And then it's ready to go. We'll have the door open up, and this drone can go park itself at its home position, is the plan. So I think I want to start getting that finished up here. And then for the drone pad, I'm thinking right here where this old drone pad is. I've started dismantling it. I need to do more work. I'm going to put another building very similar to that one right here. That's going to be the med center, because I need to have a permanent location for our medical room here. So that'll probably go there, and then right next to it we'll have a pad. I'm thinking like a little control tower in the center, and that'll have 4 pads on the ends of it for our 4 drones here, our turret drones. Which would be cool, and we technically have 5 bays here. I've built 5 bays that I was planning on doing, and somebody in the comments has suggested that this facility, like lore-wise, should have been a tardigrade facility, and then a search shows up, and we had to retrofit it to start making, you know, machines of war. And so then we have 1 bay that still makes tardigrades, and I think that's a great idea. So I think here on the end, or in the middle, I'm not exactly sure, but we'll have one that just produces tardigrades. And I think that's a great idea. So we'll have this guy do a tardigrade probably, and then all 4 of these will do our drones, and then those can go to 1, 2, 3, 4 pads with like a control tower in the center. This will be the med room, and these drones will basically just drive them out of the manufacturing and go park themselves in their parking spot. And so then another thing we'll probably need is like a grinder pit, so then when these, you know, turrets get destroyed or are not usable anymore, we'll drop them into the grinder pit and then manufacture a new one to go replace it on its pad. So I think that's a cool idea. And then, you know, obviously the ones that are parked here on the pad, we can have some type of AI control block or defense block that if it detects something, it can go out and attack. So I think it's a really cool idea. Let's go ahead and get working on the plant. All right, so I'm going to grind out this floor, and we are going to extend that pad. I think that's a good thing to do. We'll just relocate our mag plate. We've got another one on the other side, so we're not going to cause any clang by dismantling this right now. So I'll get this pad extended here, and then we'll work on the underside or some type of mechanism to get it connected. Alright, so right now I'm just working out the conveyance. So I've got another rotor down here with a medium head and a conversion on it. I want to make sure that the, heights and stuff were the same. I know I could have put a small head directly onto that rotor, but I wasn't sure about the displacement to make sure that this one would match the other two here when we merge it all together. So trying to prevent claying, so that's why I have this here. And now I'm just trying to decide where I want the connector to come up. I'm thinking right here, because it's going to be 5 blocks long from it for the legs to stick out. And so the legs will kind of stick in this border will be good, so we'll bias it towards this backside, because obviously we can't get directly in the middle between those 2 blocks. So I'm going to go right there. Alright, before we get any further though, I do want to get the floor here welded up, so we can get a mag plate on it. I'm kind of walking across the floor, scooting across the floor as I'm standing on this. You can see me just slowly start shifting sideways. I'm not touching my keyboard at all, so let's see if we can get a mag plate on here and fix some of this craziness. Alright, there we go. We got the landing gear on here, and the reason I use a landing gear instead of a mag plate is because it's exactly 2 blocks long. A mag plate obviously sticks out just a bit, so landing gear is the way to go there. Are we shifting as much? We are not. Okay, good. Yeah, I have a landing gear up there. I'm kind of surprised it was so wobbly. So we're not scooting across the floor anymore, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get back to the conveyors. Alright, let's see if we can access here with our small conveyors. I did weld up all this so we don't have to get into the grinder again. So let's just get a straight piece. I think we need to come over 2. And then come up, if I'm correct. Yes. Okay, that's a line there. Now we should be able to get a piston onto there. Alright, so let's put on a connector here. I'm just going to go with the old school one so it slides through. Okay, we're merged together. That's good. Let's go ahead and bring this guy down right here in the center. Get that all welded up, at least so it's a little bit stronger. Then we'll put our landing gear back. I was afraid it was going to clang out if I had it merged on there or mag plated on there, so. Okay. Small little mechanism, but it'll pop up, connect to the bottom of the Skeeter drone, drop out of the way so this guy can scoot across the floor. So I think that works. I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and patch this guy up and we'll be done under here. Alright, there we go. Got a finished pad here. This will drop off. This guy will come up and arm it. So we'll do all that sequencing. I do want to get a crane overhead. Just probably like a 2-hinge or 4-hinge grabber that'll just kind of hinge onto it and scissor it up over to here. It'll just kind of, lift it over and put it down. It's not going to be terribly complicated. It's just going to go in a straight line. We don't need any rotors or anything like that. So that should be easy. And then here will be the exterior door. Thinking the gates, I don't know if I want to do the hangar doors. I think that made sense for the trucks, but the... actually, will they? We come over here and... That's going to be really tight, isn't it? The drones can technically fit, but are they smart enough to go through? I'm a little skeptical. Alright, there we go. Something like that, and then here in the ceiling we'll have our mechanism come across to pick that guy up. I guess we can probably just have it attach right to there. We don't need to go inset, I don't think, any more than that. It can kind of hang off the ceiling. Alright, so right now I'm just trying to figure out how the roof is going to look, so I can actually attach the piece on here correctly. I was thinking doing full blocks, but now I'm wondering if we do the half blocks like we had over on the other facilities, and we have our skylights in here. So we could, do 1, 2, 3, 4 wide maybe for our skylights there. Just get rid of some stuff here. So I'm going to do very similar to what we have over here and over here on this base. This is going to be an orange stripe going this way, another orange stripe going that way. We'll have these half blocks with some skylights, and then these will be the black, kind of these ribs here to tie across. We'll probably do that for all 4 of these bays, and then we'll have a ceiling hangar door thing for the tardigrade. I was thinking about putting it in the middle because it would look kind of, symmetric that way, but the way the ground slopes here, I'm thinking we have the tardigrade over here at the very end, just so we don't have to worry about this drastic slope coming out of a door. So I think that'll be fine. We'll go with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 drone bays there. So, and this will be the look of it here. So now I know what the ceiling looks like. So now I can attach a hinge to it probably to get the armature to grab that guy and put him down there. All right, I think we're going to put the crane mechanism over here, at least the large grid to small grid transition. And I think actually here I'm going to put a landing gear. Yeah, that's good. That'll hold that in place. And then I'm thinking wrapping around with beam blocks around here. Kind of give it some character. Alright, so I simplified the crane. I think this will work. I think we just need to extend this guy out to there and see if it works. Because then this angle would match this angle to stay parallel, and then we just need to drop it down to here. So I'm assuming we can get enough extension length on this guy to be totally fine. Oh yeah, we're going to get it almost with one piston. Okay, 40 degrees actually looks pretty decent. Let's go ahead and extend this guy out. Probably should do this one instead so I could actually see. So we're about 1.69, 1.68. Alright, so I think I've got this one worked out here. So it's going to go out 1.68 on one of these. That one gets full extension. Then it stops right there, right in the lock zone, so that's good. We can grab it, and we can pull it in. Alright, I've got the other positions recorded. I got a home space that it's tucked up in here nice and tight. That looks pretty cool. It'll come out here to that position that I had recorded, this first one here for the grab. I also have the unload. I just put a block here of basically this will be where the remote control block will, the face of it will be. So I just aligned up to that. So 80 degrees worked, and then an extension of, yeah, 0.43 worked there. So we've got that going. Now we can go ahead and get to programming this. Alright, down here in the basement we have our sequencing. I think we want to go ahead and move that grabber claw in this section while we're trying to attach the second set of legs. I think that would be fine. We might have to increase the time that it takes to get down there, but I think that would be a good place to put it in there. Okay. Alright, so here in sequence 8 we are attaching those hinges, turning off our merge blocks, and retracting our pistons there. So we also want to start getting the grab claw to extend down. So let's go ahead and go to page 2 for that. So we want to do a rotate to angle of -39. We're going to go pretty fast on this one. Let's go 5. Alright, so then for our pistons, I'm going to do these as a set and move as well so we can get the speed in there. So this one we want to go to 2. We're going to go slower than that. I think a speed of 1 is good because we want these guys to rotate before these guys start extending. Do the same thing for this one. Hopefully it's not too fast. Okay, and that should be it. And then we're going to trigger the next timer in the sequence here of number 9. We don't have anything set up yet. So let's go ahead and give number 8 a trigger. Because the only thing it was doing, other than what we want to do with the robot there, or the grab arm, is turning off the merge blocks and retracting them, which they are already off and retracted, so we should be good there. Let's use this control panel here. Alright, let's do a trigger here on number 8. I'm going to go ahead and time it here with my phone. Okay, it extends out a little too fast before the hinges are ready to be in place, so we need to have that a lot slower. Alright, let's do a new set and move on these guys. Still gonna go to 2, but we want it to be 0.5 maybe? Okay, it was a bit wobbly. I'm not exactly sure why that is, unless we have some conflict here with this beam. Not sure what the deal is there, but it came in there nice. That was good, and it took about 5 seconds. So that's not too bad. I think on number 8 we still have... Yeah, we have 5 seconds there anyway. So we'll probably put like a 6-second delay on number 9. Alright, so now that it's in place, we want to go ahead and take this guy and move him over. So we need to lock our mag plate and disconnect our merge block. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, and then back down here so we can actually see the screen. Let's go ahead and set up actions. I'm going to do a set to angle -80. I'm thinking a speed of 1 might be okay. Let's go slow. And then for our pistons, we actually want to go pretty quick. This one actually doesn't matter. We're going to do a set and move. It's going to go from 2 to 2. I'm going to give this one a speed of 1. And then this one, we're going to do a set and move to 0.43. And we want this guy to be pretty fast. We're going to do a speed of 1. Because we want it to kind of retract to get out of the like projector arm way before we you know, bring it down with the hinges. So I'm hoping that's going to be good. Alright, and then one more thing that we need to do here in sequence number 9 is we need to extend that piston for this connector over here on the floor. All right, well, this one makes me nervous, but let's go ahead and give sequence number 9 a shot here. We got our 6-second delay, that's fine. But when we trigger it, it's going to lock the mag plate, unlock the merge block, and then start rotating those things, extend the connector out, and then start the next timer, which doesn't do anything yet. So let's go ahead and give it a trigger, and I'm hoping it doesn't scrape on that frame there. Okay, that's not too bad. Moves it over to there, that's good, and then we can go ahead and lock this guy in the next sequence. Alright, so the last one in our welding sequence here is going to be number 10, and we're going to connect the drone to that pad. Alright, so here in setup actions, let's go ahead and find our connector. I'm going to unlock our mag plate, and then we also want to retract our pistons. Set and move to 0. We're going to go pretty quick. I'm going to do it at 5, because I want them out of the way before it swings up into the ceiling, and I also don't want it to swing into the turret. With a rotate to angle, this one's going to go to 19 degrees. We're going to go to speed of 1. And then on this one, negative 70 degrees. It's not going very far, from negative 80 to negative 70. We'll also get a speed of 1, because it'll be into position well before the hinge number 1 is. So that should be it. And then the next thing it'll do is trigger the timer sequence. We'll have a whole nother sequence for arming the drone. Getting it supplied with ammo, turning on the AI blocks, turning on the thrusters and the gyros and all that stuff. So I think we're going to have another row of timers up here on the top at some point. So this will call it for the sequence to get it built. Good. Okay, let's give sequence 10 a trigger here. There we go, that retracted really fast actually, and the hinges are a little slow, so we could probably change the speeds on that, but it definitely got out of the way before it swung into the turret, which I like. But maybe a speed of 2 would be fine. Alright, got the timing changed on that, and now we are ready to get a actual prototype in here and program it and load it and get it over, well, to its permanent home at some point. But I think for now, I want to go ahead and do a welding montage since we have some daylight here. I want to get this building kind of fleshed out, and we'll obviously leave this giant hole in each one of these bays over here, but I at least want to get the building structure kind of built. Try to get it starting to look like an actual functioning base. Alright, the sun is setting. We've got some pretty good progress done here on our factory. I added some floodlights and labeling here since the montage, I think. But we got the top ribs on here and skylights, so it matches a lot of the rest of the facility around here, so that's kind of cool. 4 bays for our Skeeter drones. We'll have another one here for our tardigrade at some point. I've got to figure out a roof access and all that stuff, but I'm really focused on the drone side. Over here, we'll have our control rooms for each of the bays. I've got to figure out another control room for the tardigrade, because obviously we cut the building off here, so we don't have that same bay window that we could do. We'll have to come up with something different there, which is fine. Finished out the airlock. It's just pretty basic, a couple pipes and then a couple vents just to keep it symmetric. I still got to work on the lighting. Alright, here in this little alcove, I think I'm going to put some air tanks to plumb up into these conveyors for the airlocks. I think that'll be good, and then we'll probably plumb it down into the floor into our piping system. Got a little bulkhead door here just to kind of delineate the space. Here's the hallway into the warehouse. This space, I still got to figure out what we want to do here. I was thinking about putting in those like bay window things that we had here, over here, but I went ahead and just did a flat wall for now until I figure out what the space is going to look like. So it'll probably have windows at some point. I just don't know what the room is going to be. Still got to figure out our control system for each one of these bays of what we want to have for buttons and lights and screens, but the view looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I did bring in the Skeeter that was over there on the pad, or at least just parked over there on the ground. Went and brought him over here. Got it jacked up a little bit just so we can kind of work on it. And then I removed the prototype bay from over there as well, so we've got a clean exterior now. Alright, and finally, somebody had suggested doing some mass transit around our facility to get around, but we really don't have that far to actually go. So we've got this area here that's got our like break room and office space. We can walk over there and walk over here to the warehouse and walk back. Like, it's really not too much like pressurized space that we're around this facility. But I think it would be cool if we put a tram up here, or a monorail or something, that this is the station on top of the building here, and that runs off to like an apartment complex, and then it could stop by our iron mine, or we have it go somewhere else to like a shipyard or something, because at some point we want to get off this planet. So it'd be nice to have a shipyard facility or something that's in a different location, and so having a monorail or a train or something here would be really cool. So having the station up on the top of the building, and then they can come down into the pressurized space and go to work. I think that'd be kind of cool. Alright, and I got the drone moved in here, and I realized that he only has one good leg. So he has one of the redone legs that has the double battery, and the other ones are the old school ones, so I should probably just grind this guy all the way down and redo him. So I'd probably grind it down at least to just get the legs off, get those back into storage, and then redo the body here, blueprint at least, to get it so these thrusters are off like they are in the AI blocks and stuff, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I think I've got this guy all redone. He's got his thrusters are off, remote controls off, gyros off. The turret here is not on idle movement, which is good. The batteries are set to recharge. And then on the underside here, I have a thruster. I took out one of the AI task blocks, I believe, and put in a hydrogen thruster. It's obviously not plumbed to anything, but hopefully it'll trick the drone into thinking that it can move upward, and it'll follow us a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and give that a shot, and I think we're ready to do a full-fledged welding test here. I haven't done a full one because the thrusters and gyros were on, and it was fighting these rotors and stuff as they're going. I also got the group named here for the hinges, so it should drop out into the bins. So I think we're good. In the comments I had talked about maybe changing the speed on this thing to speed it up, and I tried 2x speed, and that was way too fast. It just went through and missed a lot of the welds. And then I tried 1.5, and that still didn't get these hinges completed, and so I'm thinking it's really kind of a design flaw. I should have put the hinges so they were attached to like the AI block there and the antenna instead of off of these front blocks, because basically the welder has to go through, get this welder, get this block welded for this guy to actually pop on. So it kind of takes some time to weld through. I'm okay with it. We'll just deal with the 45 seconds, but probably future, I probably should have attached them onto that side from the welding perspective, but it still missed the cargo container on the inside. So I'm good with the 45 seconds. It welds up. We're going to keep the sequence, keep the blueprint. I'm good with it. So I'm going to just go ahead and grind this guy down, put him back into storage, and then I need to flip this. This is another flaw. When this guy rotates around, he kind of hits right here. Yeah, so he hits right there. So I can't get this guy back in the home position until this turret is out of here. So it's not too bad. I mean, we should probably get the Skeeter out of here before we manufacture a new one anyway. But I'll have to make sure I put this rotate back to home in the sequence of sending this guy off instead of like at the very beginning or something, to make sure it's in the right spot. I'll go ahead and rotate him around again. So yeah, I'll disconnect that guy, drop that piston back down, and then we'll give this guy a full trial. All right, well, that worked. Kind of. We had a little bit of an issue there with the turret and the remote control block not getting welded up there on the first go, but it ended up getting it when it was doing the legs, so I guess I'll count that as a win. I'm not exactly sure why it happened. That didn't happen in any of the other testing that we've done, and I haven't changed any timings, so I'm not exactly sure why that is. The only other thing we did was added a hydrogen thruster, but that's on the backside here, so it should have been well and done with that before it... but maybe that just delayed the whole progress across the whole system? I don't know, because I noticed that the cargo container took a little bit to get welded as well. But everything seems to be on and attached, so we're going to go with it. We still need to figure out the sequence to get this guy battery recharged, get ammunition into it and all that stuff, and then send it on its merry way to its docking pad. But let's go ahead and just manually control it and see if we can get this thing to follow us a little bit better. All right, I got the thrusters and the gyros on. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the AI control stuff working. Okay, so the AI flight move, that's interesting. It should have it all. Let's turn the AI behavior on, toggle the block on. And then let's do our basic task as well. Turn that AI behavior on. We're gonna have follow the player, that's good. Follow me, stop following, okay. Should be good. Let's go ahead and give it a distance of 10. See if this works. Yeah, AI flight move is on, behavior is on precision mode. We'll probably be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and have it follow me and see what it's going to do. See how this ramp works. We might need to change our... It's a little bit sticky there. Well, that is a marketable improvement in following there with that upward thrust of that false hydrogen thruster. So it's fallen us pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So thank you, Dread Mechanic, for that suggestion. That is working great. So now I guess we need to find him a permanent home. All right, let's see if this guy is going to make it up the ramp. I have a feeling he's going to get high centered. Not too hopeful for this clearance here. Does he have enough power? Not really, and he is getting stuck there. Okay, well, I think we're going to have to redo the ramps. We'll just use the modded ramps that are a little bit longer. So let me go ahead and get this guy over here on a little bit flatter ground. There we go. Go ahead and turn him off. Alright, well, it's nice and stormy here. Let's give it another shot to come up this ramp. I got some 4x4s on here. Or 4x1 slopes. Let's see if it'll make it up this. Oops, that was the wrong place to stand. Come on. Not bad. He can still get up it. I did put these little number ones on the side because I want to have dedicated blueprints for each one of the bays here, just so we don't have conflicting, groups, battery groups, and other things when we dock them all up together. And then I also want to have like pre-programmed stuff into it. So this guy might have a patrol route that goes around the base. 2 and 3 might have other ones. 4 might be dedicated to following us, or maybe they'll all 4 be here parked and they'll respond to threats. I'm not exactly sure what we want to do there. But at least they'll all have, 4 distinct names and all that stuff, so we'll go from there. And one thing I noticed, I need to redo my blueprint here for turret number 1, which is fine. I guess we need to get all the routing and stuff into it, but one of the batteries here is not the right color, which is not a big deal, but the batteries are not on the same group on the leg as it is for the body. So I want to get all of those named because I took the blueprint, or the re-blueprint of it, was just the body and didn't have the legs attached, so some of the stuff got missed. The wheels were also on 50% friction, which is not good for sliding around, so I don't know if it was something that I missed in the blueprint, or if it's something we're going to run into by re-welding legs on, if that's not keeping the settings. I mean, it still has all the steering angles, so I feel like it's probably something I missed. I'm hoping. Alright, so I think next I just want to create a pad for this guy to park. It probably won't be the permanent pad, we'll probably have to redo it, but basically just give it a connector somewhere over here to park up, and let's get some testing and sequencing done for getting this guy off of the pad and down the ramp at least, and then we can finish up the production plant and have this guy spin back around and have it all reset so we can get another turret built. Alright, so I know the plan was, in theory, to put the turret station over here somewhere so it'd be really close to the base, but this ground is really sloped, and it's not working out really well with the way I'm trying to lay out to have a 4-way access place to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it over here. So I've got started. So here's going to be the layout. We'll have a pad for each of the drones, and then here on the floor I'll sink a advanced rotor system, and we'll plumb it up eventually to go over here to get ammunition and stuff stored into these guys. But I'm just going to build a small grid platform here and give a place for that drone to come park. Alright, so I got an advanced rotor down here. I'm going to attach a medium head to it here. I know I could have gone up a little bit more, but I want to be able to put like pistons and stuff on here to extend the connector up into the drone, just like we had over on the factory. So we're going to do this, probably add a sorter in here as well, so we can make sure it gets ammunition. Alright, there we go. There's basically the start of the mechanism, and we'll, spread out as we need to, but we'll just go ahead and start piling up with steel plates and make a little small grid here. Alright, I was putting the mag plate on the underside here to get it secured to the wall, and it got me thinking I should put some 4 corners of mag plates here to secure the drone down to the pad, since it's going to be floating around with 0 friction on those wheels, so that would be good to lock it in, not just worry about the connector. Alright, I'm just going to fill these gaps in for now, just so the drone doesn't have a chance to fall inside of it. Alright, I'm looking at this and I think I want to just carry it into a 45-degree angle here. Just so we don't have to worry about it slipping off the side and might as well be able to approach from any angle, is the hope. There we go. Now they can approach up from here, hopefully, and jump up here and get onto the pad in the right spot. That'll be good. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way. Alright, well I got a temporary little helm here on the turret, and I'm hoping we can drive it around and get it to park up over on that spot over there, so let's go ahead and give it a try. So here on the helm I did put in the waypoint generator, so we can at least get waypoints going, so... Okay, well, found out an issue. Apparently, the wheels fall right into the crack of the mag plate, so that's not going to work. So I guess we'll go with just a plate, and then maybe we'll have some side mag plates or something that'll clamp on. Because, yeah, that doesn't work. Alright, well this works to retrieve it out of here. Let's go ahead and move it over here. Alright, I think I've got all the GPS locations here now that we've got a smooth pad. So let's go ahead and drive him back and see if this recorder works. Alright, well before we get too far, I did replace these slopes here with the 3x1s instead of, well, we did 4x1s over on the other one, so it was kind of scraping as I was coming on and off, so didn't really like that. Hopefully this 3x1 will do better. Let's go ahead and give it a test run. Not bad. It still kind of hits, but not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a little dry run here. So we'll turn on the AI block, and then we'll play our routine here and see if my waypoints worked out. Alright, well, technically it got us here, but not quite enough to get to the connector there, so that's a little disappointing. So we'll have to figure that out in a while. We'll just go ahead and get it parked up a little bit closer. Yeah, so we might have to have some type of clamp action to get this guy into place, but we'll figure this guy out at a later date. Really, we're focused on the factory side. But at least it got over here. Alright, there we go. I think we've got it in its initial condition with all the stuff off and the batteries on recharge. So let's go ahead and create a sequence over here to get this guy disconnected and moved over to its home. Alright, off camera I've been thinking about the sequencing, and I want to disconnect it, get it to exit, and go back to its home when the batteries are charged. But if we just go off of battery charged, when it docks in at home and it gets up to 95% or whatever selection we have for it, it'll trigger the sequence again. So we don't want that to happen. So we need to have another check here for the connector. So we're going to have another event controller to check that that bay is actually connected to the drone. And if both of those are true, then we can go ahead and execute the sequence to kick it out of here and send it home, if that makes sense. So battery check, the first one we need to do is just go to stored power. We're going to do 95%. We're going to find all of our Skeeter batteries here. We're going to add them to the block. We want the AND gate. And so for the actions for this one, all we want to do is turn that indicator light on and off. And then same here for the connector connected. We're going to go connector lock, unlock. And we want the Skeeter bay, not the actual Skeeter. We're going to connect that one, if it's true. Okay, and then for this one, we're just going to turn on and off that light. So hopefully that light will turn on when those batteries get charged. And when it does, we want it to trigger the sequence. And so we want this one here to trigger if both of those are on. Okay, so the third one, it's just going to check the light. So we're going to do the block switched on off, and we're going to find those two indicators. All right, so we have these two indicators, one for the battery and one for the connector. So we're going to add both of those. This one is off, that one's on. It's not going to do it because we need to do the AND gate. There we go. Okay, that one's just going to start that timer. All right, for now, I'm going to go in here and have this guy stop for the event so we don't actually trigger it on accident while we're trying to set it up. But here in the first actual timer sequence, we're going to set up a few things. All right, so first thing is we want to turn the recharge off on our batteries. Then we want to make sure we turn all the other stuff on. Let's see, we want to turn our thrusters on. Let's find our up thrust to make sure it's on as well. It should stay on. Turn the gyroscope on as well. And then let's turn some AI blocks on. We're just going to do the flight move and the AI recorder task. We can turn the other ones on as we need to from the drone pad. We're not going to use it here. Next thing, we need to turn the antenna on. All right, the next thing is we need to open the hangar doors. And then we need to start the next timer. And so for this guy, we just need to have the time that it takes for the door to get all the way down. So it takes a little over 10 seconds there to get those doors open. So we'll give 11-second delay on our next timer. All right, so then the next thing we want to do here is we want to do our AI flight move. We want to turn that on. We're going to turn AI behavior on. We're also going to trigger the recorder task. We're going to do play. We're also going to disconnect this connector here and retract the piston. And then we'll start the next timer. Okay, and then this one is going to, however long it takes for the drone to get out of the building. So we're going to give it a good 20 seconds just to be safe. It shouldn't take that long, but you never know. So for the actions, we want to go ahead and close our doors. And then we want to rotate that body hinge over there back to its home position. And we're actually going to turn off the rotating light for the bay as well. So let's go ahead and turn that one off. I actually want to turn it on in number 4. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to do in this sequence here is I want to turn on the sequence 01 timer. So we're going to go ahead and turn that one on. And what I want to do is I want to go back into that sequence timer. And in its setup actions, I'm going to have itself turn itself off, if that makes sense. All right, so here on the second page of this sequence, we're going to move this one over. Sequence 2 is going to be the start, and then the next one here is we're going to take sequence 1, we're going to turn itself off. So then we trigger it once, it'll stay off until all of this stuff is done and the drone is out of here before we can hit it again and don't accidentally start manufacturing a drone prematurely. Alright, so for the third indicator check, let's go ahead and have this do a start instead of a stop. So the indicator light for the battery, I have it off, so if I turn it on, it should trigger this, which should trigger this first timer. So let's give it a 5-second delay. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the battery light on and see if this all triggers. There we go, it's triggering, 5 seconds away. Should see that light turn on and other stuff going. Here we go. Doors are opening, thrusters are on. After about 11 seconds, should be right when that door opens. There we go. Disconnected. It's on its way. 20 seconds is way too long, but that's okay. At least watch him go. Alright, well he's on his way. Let's go ahead and just wait here and see if this door closes and this guy rotates back. And then we'll go check to see if he's in the right location. There we go. That rotated back, the door is closed. And then we should be able to build a new drone now. Alright, well he made it over here. He likes to strafe sideways. That it's not how I set up the GPS location, was to go to here. That's fine. Yeah, still a little imprecise there. That's okay. we'll have some type of armature come in here and grab that guy. I think that would be fine, and move him into place. He's pretty straightforward side to side here. That's pretty good. Just not far enough forward. So maybe we just have a arm that comes out here and, you know, stops itself when the mag plate detects something, and then it'll just pull itself back to some zero condition. That might be the route to go. Not exactly sure. Or we just do, you know, a clamp back here that pushes it up. So we can, yeah, we can push that thing by hand. We'll attach this guy. That's a little too high, it looks like, but that's all right. He's locked on. Let's go ahead and share inertial tensor on that one. It's a little bit wobbly. All right, wonderful. That guy is connected. All right, there we go. We've got a working factory that will build the turret, put it here on this platform, get it charged up, and then send it out the door to the drone pad over there. So when that number 1 gets destroyed, we can go ahead and replace it. Now I just got to do that 3 more times, and I'll probably do that off camera between episodes, and then we will get working on the tardigrade factory side of it here, and then probably finish out at least the bottom layer here. We won't get started on like the monorail, but I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode. Again, thank you to my supporters here. I appreciate all of you guys for viewing and likes and subscribes. I will catch you guys later.